the Score.
It looks like I'm a wreck. It's in the hole! It's in the hole!
Forget about the curveball, Ricky. Give him a heater.
Jerry.
Well, you know, we just don't have enough time for that.
You're very funny, Jerry. That's what I always tell people. Jerry's a funny guy.
Funny guy! Right here!
Tom.
Give me a break. Good joke.
Pick up that piece of trash, Tom. Tuck in your shirt. What are you doing? Have a sense of pride, huh? In fact, why don't you take a lap? Go run a lap! I'm timing you!
Kevin.
You know, Ben is unique. You know, these guys are unique. They're championship runs. I mean, this one's unique.
You beat Kevin down Cherry Hill?
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you. I make you laugh.
I don't think you should be butting in when I'm talking to my team. You're my assistant, okay? You're supposed to back me up and go get me juice boxes when I tell you. Now go get me a juice box.
This is Running Up the Score.
It is time to run up the score. Running up the score with Jerry Napoleonello, 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live, brought to you by Yelphi Sports App. We are live on Zeno Live, and we're also live on Periscope. Again, I'm here with Tom Galopani. The call-in number is, as always, 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live. We have a lot to get to today. There was a hiccup in the 12 versus 12 in the NBA Finals. 12-0 versus 12-0. Avery Bradley put a kibosh on that. But we're back on track. Will this be the greatest finals of all time? When we get there, obviously, but we know it's going to be the Warriors and the Cavs. Senators forced a Game 7. Oh, yeah, that's right. The NHL playoffs have been better. Crazy concept, huh? Have the Yankees called up the next phenom to AAA? We're going to get into all of these and much, much more. Got a great show ahead of us. Thank you to our sponsor, Yelphi Sports App. You can download the app from the iTunes App Store by searching Yelphi. It's spelled Y-E-L-L-F-Y. Make sure to follow me at Jerry RUTS Sports and Tom at Tom RUTS Sports, and we'll follow you back. It's a great app. But first, remember to join in with our conversation through the next hour here by calling in at 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live. Tweet us at RUTS Sports. You can also follow us on Instagram, RUTS Sports. And like our page on Facebook, we revamped our website as well. You can check that out, www.rutsports.weebly.com. We have some big, well, actually, we basically started the big news that we brought up last week. My podcasts were the first ones to be aired. They're on iTunes now, Armchair Quarterback, and the Ball is Life podcast. So that's exciting. We started those out. You're doing yours, I believe, tonight, right?
Tonight or tomorrow.
Whatever it is.
And it's going on Friday.
Yeah, either way, I mean, I can post it that night. It doesn't matter. But be on the lookout for that. Hopefully, we get Kevin's soon as well. I've been talking to him. But we might as well start off with the finals here. We're obviously not there yet.
Might as well be.
Might as well be.
Just,
If it wasn't for Kyrie Irving, we might have a different tune here. Because if it wasn't for him, with LeBron getting his fourth foul in the second quarter, it would have been a different story. Because we would have been looking at a tied series at 2. And it would have been interesting. The question is the Celtics better without Isaiah Thomas? And in a way, you have to say yes, because they're such a different team. They bring a different dynamic when Isaiah Thomas is not on the court, because it's, you you don't have that ISO type player that's going to take over and be able to, create his own shot and stuff like that. So they had to basically fall back on ball movement. And the last 2 games, their ball movement has been ridiculous. So I have to commend them on that. And they're making it an interesting series. I mean, nobody thought. I mean, after the first 2 games, who would have thought that?
Not only that,
the Celtics would have got a win
when they were down, I believe, 20-something in Game 3.
Yeah, and they came back and won that game. So, altogether, I think this series is obviously done now. It's over. We put a fork in it.
Yeah,
it's over. Kyrie Irving had a huge game in Game 4. Huge game. And this is where my hot take comes out of. And I want to see if you agree or you disagree, whatever it is. I think Kyrie Irving is the best point guard in the league.
I would agree.
I mean, I said that yesterday at my job. And people looked at me like I was crazy. Like, they think that Russell Westbrook is the best point guard. Russell Westbrook's not a point guard.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a point guard.
I was just thinking the same thing along with James Harden. He's not a point guard.
He's not a point guard either. So
Chris Paul's getting a little old.
But even that, nobody finishes like Kyrie Irving.
Nobody handles like Irving.
Yeah, exactly. It's him and Curry as 1A and 1B when it comes to handles. But overall, this kid is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I love watching this guy play. I really do. And I just, to be honest with you, I just feel like he is the best point guard in the league. And I think he's going to be one of those stars for years to come in the league that we're going to be thinking about, like, oh, wow, this guy is one of the best, to do it. And that, I think, is Kyrie Irving. I mean, you can see it, especially when it comes down to the fourth quarter or when they need a basket. They're not going to LeBron James for a game-winning basket. They're going to Kyrie Irving.
Just look at Game 7 last year.
Exactly.
Right over Curry.
I mean, one of the biggest shots he'll probably ever hit. One of the biggest shots in Cavaliers history.
Yeah.
So, I just, overall, I think this guy is unbelievable. And I do think he is the best point guard in the league. So, overall, after LeBron James picked up his 4th foul, Kyrie Irving carried the Cavaliers, as I just said, with 6 minutes and 47 seconds left in the second. He had 33 points. He was 13 for 16, 4 for 6 from three-point range, and 2 for 2 from the free throw line.
Wow.
I mean, that's in 2.5 quarters.
That's one of those nights, as they call them.
Absolutely. The big three scored or assisted on 103 of the Cavaliers' 112 points. LeBron James, his teams are 11-0 in series when leading 3-1. Kyrie Irving, as we've been talking about, it's the most points by a LeBron James teammate in the playoffs. The last one to do it, or the last high, was Kyrie Irving with 41. And he surpassed that by 1. And it was last year in the finals. LeBron James and Kyrie Irving outscored the Celtics 60-50 after the Celtics took their 16-point lead. I mean, we have to remind everybody that the Celtics did have a 16-point lead in this game. Then Kyrie Irving dominated the third quarter for the Cavaliers. 21 points ties the Cavs' postseason record for most points in a quarter. LeBron James did it in 2010. Cavaliers have won 12 straight potential series closeout games, the longest active streak in the NBA, and tied for the longest streak in NBA postseason history. I'm pretty sure the Warriors are going to be breaking that very soon.
Yes.
After LeBron James got his 4th foul, the final 6 minutes and 46 seconds of the final 6:46 of the second quarter, the Celtics had 14 points 5 for 11. The Cavaliers had 14 points, 5 of 10. Cavaliers shot 59.5% for the game, the best mark by any team in this postseason. They shot 71% in the second half.
That's insane.
Just everything. LeBron James teams are 1-4 when he has 3 fouls in the first half of a playoff game. That's now 2-4. 93 points are the most points the big three of LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Love have combined in a playoff game.
It's good signs leading up to what we're all waiting for and have been waiting for.
Yeah, it's something you have to see. You have to see this from these three. You have to see it from Kyrie.
Mm-hmm. So, I think that it more falls on Kevin Love.
Yeah,
because I feel like Irving's gonna do his thing out there.
Absolutely.
I think it falls down to Kevin Love hitting those threes.
Absolutely, it's something like we've been saying. It's something that you have to see. You have to see Kevin Love play the way he's been playing. It's something that's got to happen.
And if it isn't, they'll get swept.
Yeah,
it's really as simple as that.
Will this be the greatest finals of all time?
Well, I think it falls down to exactly what we were just saying.
Yeah.
If they show up, it has potential to very much be that.
I think if this series can go 7, I think it has a chance.
Mm-hmm.
So, do I think it is that it's going to be right now? I don't think so. Just because, there's so much potential that the Warriors could just blow the doors off of the Cavaliers because of how good this team is. And that's going to add to my next question, but I want to hear what you have to say about the great field.
I also have a question for you involving this question. Do you think how bad the postseason has been affects if this final could be one of the best ever? And I know it's just the final and that's the question, but it also has to do with the build-up to the final, and it's been a joke.
To be honest with you, I never really thought of something like that, and that's a good point, because it's like, what did these teams have to go through to get to this point?
I feel like it takes a little away from this final, how easy of a road it's been.
I think that's a good question. I think that's, I think that's definitely puts a damper.
Yeah.
On the finals, and
if it goes 7 and it's no one's gonna care.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And I think the Celtics and the Lakers have something to say about that. With their series back in the '80s.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good question. I never even thought of something like that, and I do think it does affect how we rank this finals.
Yeah, there's no perseverance of down 3-2 or
exactly
anything like that. It's just been a breeze.
The Warriors are 12-0, the first team to ever go 12-0 in a postseason. That's also because we've changed it to 7-7-7 in games with the series, because back in the 2000s we had the Lakers that did it twice, but they went 11-0 because the first series was best of 3 or best of 5, but you had to win 3. So they went 11-0, lost game 1, I believe, to the 76ers. But that just goes to show you how different this year is, and the playoffs. But is this Warriors team the greatest team of all time? And it's hard. It's hard because I tried to even look it up.
They need to win multiple to even be close to that because of the loss last year.
Yeah.
After the 73 wins and this and that, the Bulls just didn't lose. And whether you want to call that the greatest team or the greatest, the Lakers of old, the Celtics of old, the Bulls didn't lose. Bill Russell's Celtics never really lost.
Yeah.
He has 11, I believe. With this much talent, they need to win at least 2 to 3 to even be categorized as that.
I definitely agree with you. This team does have big potential to be the greatest of all time, just because of what they bring to the table. I mean, you're looking at this team. You have definitely 3 superstars. And, well, at least you definitely have 2. Draymond and Clay could be borderline superstars. But right there, I mean, that's insane in itself. But I don't know, because the thing is, like, you know, there's no specific, like, nobody's really said this is the greatest team of all time. Like, I don't feel like I've had or I've heard that conversation before, or, you know, there's any comparison. I don't know who it is. Like, that's the thing. Like, you don't know who it is. And I think it's kind of at a default that it's the 73 win or 72 win Chicago Bulls. Because obviously everything that's been happening the last 2 years with the Warriors and going 73 with 73 wins, I don't know. It's kind of tough because you got to look at it, and this is why I don't like the comparisons with, you know, Michael Jordan and you know, LeBron James, just because you don't really. You can't go by generation. Like, you have to go by generations. You can't go by, you know, this guy doing this and this guy doing that, and we can compare them. It's hard to, because it's a different game. It's different athletes that you're playing these years. And LeBron James and Michael Jordan are totally, completely different players. You know, in size, height, you know, level of play, like how they play. You know, just it's different. But now, so say we do say the Warriors are the greatest team of all time.
I think they need to blow the doors off Cleveland for even that to be.
Now, on the other hand, now is if LeBron James beats this Warriors team, where do we put him? Because Charles Barkley had a different way of basically saying how LeBron James' legacy will go. And I'll play that clip. He was on Mike and Mike the other day. Now, do you want to give your answer or your opinion before Charles or after?
I'll go before.
All right.
You know, see if I'm as crazy as Charles is. If LeBron wins this one, it is 4, right?
Yes.
Okay. Kobe has 5.
Yes.
Okay. I believe it would go Jordan. I don't know. Does this title boost LeBron over Kobe?
That's what, you know,
I think it would, just because of this team they're playing.
Exactly, and that's why I asked. You know, this is a different monster. I mean, I think even last year's championship for LeBron James boosted him, you know, definitely higher than anybody would have ever saw. Because the thing was, you know, some people may have thought he was the greatest of all time last year, whatever. After he won that championship last year, coming back from 3-1, I have a hard time, and everybody that knows me, you know definitely that I don't like LeBron James. I never have. Even when he first came into the league, I did not like him. For my own reasons, because I'm a Kobe Bryant fan, obviously. But after last year, I can't say anything about him. Yeah, it was nice to have Game 3 where he just disappeared the last 16 minutes of the game. So, you know, I get to put a smile on my face for that. But overall, after last year, I can't say anything about it. And, you know, it's getting to that point where it's like,
that's where
I'm
I think
giving it up to him.
If he does it this year, and it's not that his team is bad or, you know, they're so far below the Warriors. They obviously are the underdogs, but Kobe's teams, they were always like the Warriors.
Yeah.
In terms of the domination, they were the alpha. So,
but even when you look at the Kobe teams, they were never as stacked.
No.
And you know, I'm not going to say that, you know, having Shaq and Kobe is not stacked, but when you look at this Warriors team, I mean, you have Draymond, you have Clay, you have Steph, you have Durant. Like, these guys are at the top of their game. When you look at Kobe's teams, you had Shaq, you had Rick Fox, you had Robert Horry, you had Derek Fisher, you had at one point Ron Harper. You had guys that were perfect for that team. They knew their role. They weren't stepping out of that role. When you look at this Warriors team, these players, they had either bigger roles on other teams or they just have a huge role on this team to the point where it's like one of these guys can take over a game by themselves. There's times where Draymond Green, maybe not by points-wise, but he's taken over teams by defense, by rebounding, just all of that. I mean, he almost had a triple-double with blocks. Actually, he did have a triple-double with blocks, rebounds, and assist. Wasn't even there by points. So, right there just shows you this guy can take over a game. Steph can take over a game. Durant can take over a game. Clay can take over a game. There's times where you see Clay hit, 4 or 5 3-pointers in a row.
37 and a quarter a few years ago.
It's insane when you look at this team compared to other dominant teams.
I personally think LeBron doesn't even have to win this to even booster his legacy. If he just dominates, makes it an interesting series, either 6 or 7 games, I think that will even help. and it's hard. It's hard to say rings because that's what everybody says. But it's hard to say rings when you have, Bill Russell that's got 11. So why isn't he in the top? Robert Horry, 7.
Robert Horry, that's what I'm saying. So it's tough. Like, there's always a double-edged sword.
It is
with everything. But this is what Charles Barkley had to say when it comes to LeBron's comparison to, I guess, the GOAT.
Listen, I have said this. If LeBron is able to beat the Golden State Warriors, I might move him up to Kobe Bryant status. Listen, Michael got 6 championships. That's a whole nother planet. LeBron has 3 championships. He's one of the 10 greatest players ever. If they're able to beat the Golden State Warriors, that would be incredible. And I'd put him on the same level as Kobe Bryant at that point. Michael's on a whole nother level. He won 6 championships. LeBron is amazing. But I don't understand why people just move him right past Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant won 5 championships. And he's done some things we've never seen before. But like I say, listen, the Cavaliers are going to win this series. But if LeBron is able to wheel this team past the Golden State Warriors, like I say, I haven't moved him past Kobe Bryant yet. But if they're able to beat the Warriors, I'll move him even maybe slightly above Kobe Bryant. But I'm not going to put him on Michael's level unless he wins a couple more championships. But I will say this. If they can beat the Warriors, I'll put him maybe even with Kobe Bryant. Even though Kobe has one more ring, beating the Warriors would be incredible. But I might put him with Kobe if they're able to beat the Warriors.
So he had some, a lot of people think that he's a little crazy for saying something like that because a lot of people, as great as Kobe was, you don't hear much of anybody saying Kobe was up there as the greatest of all time.
Which is
unless you know me, because I put him up there. But
it is true. It's kind of odd.
I don't understand why he's not up there.
No, I mean obviously LeBron's better, but
I see the smirk. I can't say anything about it. But the thing is how
and it's just
how
weird how
comparing this.
And it's weird. It's weird how he compares better to Jordan. Yeah, there's never that discussion.
There was that discussion when he was playing. But once LeBron came into the league, we stopped talking about Kobe up there, which kind of annoyed me, hence why I hate LeBron James. But
I think if Shaq and him stayed together and that core group stayed together, more. I think then the comparison would happen a lot more because it would be like Scotty and Jordan, obviously, Kobe and Shaq, and then you got the fillers, if you will.
Now, supposedly there was a tweet going around. I think it was from Peter Rosenberg, which I don't know why anybody would listen to a sports opinion from him. But I think he put out a tweet saying that Kyrie is a better team, like I guess a better Robin to LeBron James than Scottie Pippen was to Michael Jordan. And I kind of want to, like, how do you feel about that? Like, do you think that Kyrie is a better a better, I guess, partner to LeBron than Scottie Pippen?
Well, at the moment, no, because they have 6 titles.
Yeah.
But scoring-wise, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so too.
Scoring-wise, but if we're talking overall defensive-wise, no.
Defensive-wise, I mean,
no.
Kyrie Irving's not even close to that. But
Pippen took everybody's best player.
Exactly, and that's the difference. Nobody really realizes that. Pippen took their best player. Jordan never really had to defend that best player because you had Scottie Pippen. So that right there,
that's what Robin should do for the Batman.
And that's something that's big for a top player because you're not exerting that much energy on the defensive end, and you could focus more on the offensive side.
But maybe LeBron's doing the defense, so Kyrie can do the scoring.
So you're saying Kyrie's Batman to...
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying...
Crazy.
Maybe they're flip-flopping it in the sense of, obviously, LeBron's still the top guy.
Yeah.
But maybe just Kyrie's bad at defense. I'm just, I'm thinking of something that maybe...
I don't think he's
not
that great.
No.
That great at defense. I don't think he's that bad at defense.
But maybe LeBron's obviously bigger, more athletic. Maybe he's spending more on the defense so Kyrie can do his thing.
We can say that. I mean, that's a hot take right there.
That was a pretty hot take.
We might have to post that. I think we're going to have to post that. Maybe we'll get some, we'll see what other people think. But let's move on to the Warriors.
The Rosenberg treatment gets annihilated on Twitter.
Well, I mean, the way that our YouTube video is going up in views, we might have to,
Yeah.
We're at 10,000 views already, so in a day. So basically, let's get into the Warriors. Now, we were going to get into this later on, but we decided to go into it now, and we'll talk about other things now. Steve Kerr's situation. Now, I actually wrote something down. Now, he's still hurt. It doesn't seem to be that he'll be there coaching the Warriors through the finals. So now...
And it's Mike Brown.
Yes,
okay.
Mike Brown.
Yes.
Now... If Kerr does not come back, and there's a chance that he may never come back, if he doesn't come back, do they stick with Mike Brown, or what? Like, do they go for new? Like, what do they do?
I think with a team like this, you don't need new. You don't need a new system. You don't need a new outside source to come in to, revamp, redo this, redo that.
No.
Keep it within what they got, because they barely need a coach. Let's be honest.
Well, that's the other thing. It's like, and you know what? Mike Brown's not a bad coach.
No, yeah.
And when you really look at it, you look at his like, I guess, his career. You had Kobe. You had LeBron 3 times or 2 times.
Wasn't there a time he had getting money from 3 different teams? At least 2.
Right now, he's still getting paid by the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
That's why it would be so insane if he ends up winning the finals against the Cavaliers. He gets paid by the Warriors. He gets paid by the Cavaliers, and gets a ring.
That was like Varejao last year, though.
Yeah.
No matter what team won, he would have got a ring because he played enough games for each team that year.
So. I don't know how to. I think you stick with Mike Brown.
Yeah, no,
and I don't think he's a bad coach. But he did coach Kobe, LeBron, Steph.
The knock on him's always been he's been more defensive.
And the other knock on him was that he is very light-spoken. Like, he's not somebody that's going to get in your face. And that might be why LeBron and Kobe did not like him. But now we'll talk about the Dwayne Dedmon play. Was that a dirty play? The fact that you're thinking about it is absolutely insane to me because that is 110% dirty. I mean, he literally, like, he bowed. Like, you saw his body, like, totally turn to, like, his knee. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, why? See, that's one thing. And all athletes and all professional athletes will say, never go for a man's knee.
Yeah,
that's the one place that you never go for. You want to hit him in the head or knee.
Head, depending on the sport.
Now with the head it's a little different. But if you ask a lot of these players, they'll ask for a headshot rather than a knee shot.
Depends on the sport, though. You don't want a 95-mile-per-hour baseball.
Yeah, that's true too. But
I know. I
thought it was dirty.
No, knee is.
There's not really much to get into here. That was 110%.
Going after knees has started a lot of fights in a lot of sports.
Kevin Durant, did he make the right move?
I still say no.
No, really?
He bandwagon for a ring.
Yeah, but
this doesn't. I don't see how this helps his legacy or whatever you want. When he retires, we're gonna look back and say, "Oh, way to join a team that already won a title."
Yeah, I mean.
It would have been more in Oklahoma. That's all.
Yeah, I 110% agree with you. But if he gets a ring
is a ring, and I get that. But
he did the right move. He now the perfect example is, say you're at a job. Everybody loves you at the job. You're great at that job. But you're making, say, $65,000 a year. Then, all of a sudden, you get a job offer that you'll be making $120,000 a year that is about the same, but you might not have that big of a role as you do at this other one. Do you take that job?
Well, how much money more did he make?
I don't know if he made but I'm just saying say ring wise, like that, like that's when you're working out of sports, wise, your ring is more money. So that's so.
Yeah, but what if at your first company you come up with this idea that leads to more money, quote unquote, rings. And it means more to that company because you stuck through with them. You had the offers for this, for here, for there, but you stuck there. You made their work, and now you're the best company.
It all depends on you make these moves to better your life, to better your family, to better this, to better that. So either way, I think he would have been fine. But right now it's just a quicker ring. That's what it's a quicker ring. Yep. And now if he loses this championship, what do we say? Like, does he need to win this championship?
Yes.
And I say yes as well. Like, you have to win this championship.
Yes.
And the other thing is, I heard this from Colin Cowherd, which I thought was, a good point too. We might think that the NBA wants the Warriors to lose so that Durant may move. Because if he wins a championship, he's not going anywhere. So, it's...
Well, Steph hasn't gotten paid yet, though, right? Or Clay?
I don't think, their potential, like their max deal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think so.
It's a lot of money.
It's going to be interesting. But when we get back, we're going to talk about, a NBA player, a star for a while that may have played his last game during the week, this past week. And we'll get into a new league in the world of sports. We'll talk about that, the NHL playoffs, and Deadspin. Could we really take them seriously anymore? We'll discuss that when we get back. You're listening to Running Up the Score.
All Noise Radio, Powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. All Noise Radio is an internet radio station that's fully produced by graduates of the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. From modern rock to old school hip hop, country to classical, news, talk, sports, and more. It's the noise you can't ignore. Log on to allnoiseradio.com. Fire up the station. Find out more about your favorite jocks. Get the latest CSB news and more. Plus, you can take All Noise Radio with you on the go for free. Just download the Live 365 app to your iPhone, iPod Touch, or BlackBerry and search All Noise Radio. Check out tomorrow's broadcasters today at allnoiseradio.com. Powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Hey, this is Jerry Napoleonello, host of Running Up the Score. We are live once every week at 7 p.m. Eastern, where we hit on all the top headlines in the world of sports. You can also find us on Stitcher, iTunes, and those of you that like the visual aspect, check us out on YouTube. Running Up the Score. We run up the score on Sports Radio.
Cyberstation USA is the future of radio. Get your business into the online future at the world's largest internet radio station. From banner placement on our homepage to any of our broadcaster stages, commercials on our video player, audio spots on any of our shows, or at the beginning of any of our on-demand broadcasts. Cyberstation USA offers competitive rates with a worldwide reach. A fully integrated one-stop shop social media broadcast platform. For more information, please contact our sales department at Cameo at cyberstationusa.com.
He come on flat top, he come cruising up slowly. He got chew eyeball, he won holy roller. He got hair out to his knee. Got to be a joker, he just do what he please.
We are back, running up the score. Be sure to call in at 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live. Give us a tweet at RUTS Sports or head to our website, www.rutsports.weebly.com.
Hey, Tom, doesn't it get annoying when you're watching sports? Let's say you just want to send out a text to your friend or tweet something about the game or check your fantasy team or, hey, how about you want to go to the game and even set up a tailgate party? And you have to go to all these different apps and websites, etc., to do all of that. What if you could just do it all in one place?
What if?
Well, I'm here to tell you there is that place.
What is that place?
Yelphi Sports app. You can get detailed real-time scores, stats, news, rumors, fantasy news, team and player comparisons, built-in social network feature with integrated with Twitter and Facebook, create private one-to-one or group chats with your friends, buy and sell tickets, host a tailgate party, or even a pickup game. One sports app for all your sports information. Make sure you go download Yelphi Sports app. That's spelled YELLFY in the iTunes App Store. Yelphi, the only sports app that you need.
It's groundbreaking, right?
Yes.
I mean, just all of that.
Everything.
One.
All in one.
It's fascinating, people.
So we're going to get into some NFL talk here. Some NFL talk. So we had some rule changes. One of the biggest ones. Yeah, I like.
That was nice to see when I
all
went
of them.
ESPN.
I spoke about some of them on the podcast, on the Armchair Quarterback podcast.
Be sure to check it out on iTunes.
Yes. I spoke about, the NFL relaxing the celebration rule. I love it.
Yes, agreed.
I love it. This was one of the dumbest rules that we had. There was, don't get me wrong, there was players that went a little overboard, cell phone, Sharpie, stuff like that. So one coach did not like that. And that coach was Marvin Lewis. Which is kind of funny. Because
irony.
This is, and I'll show you why it's kind of funny. But he says, I'm not for that at all. We had a good standard, and the whole standard has always been you want to teach people how to play the game the correct way and go about it the correct way. And that's not a very good example for your young people. The rules were changed for a reason, and I thought we had a good outcome. Again, this is a team game, and I don't understand why we want to give in to an individual celebrations. Okay, so first of all, his number one player was Chad Ochocinco Johnson.
Guy that just happened to change his last name to his jersey number.
Exactly.
By the way,
a guy that had a Hall of Fame jacket made to go over his pads during a game.
A guy that even made these rules happen.
Basically, exactly. You had Terrell Owens, another one that did that. Basically went over to the cheerleaders that took their pom-poms, started cheerleading. He also took the ball. I mean, he was the one with the Sharpie, just everything. And then not to mention the rest of your team. Talking about teaching young people an example.
How about getting rid of Adam Pac-Man Jones finally?
I don't understand. Where do you feel obligated to say something like this?
Not to mention, he also mentioned at the end that why are we making it about the individual? Well, we're not, because group celebrations are allowed again.
Exactly, and I'll give you. I have what they can do, what they can't do. When I find the paper that I had it.
It would be so much better if another coach said it, because it would just be like, whatever.
It'd be different,
just whatever. But for him to come out and say something about something so silly.
All right. So the number of unsportsmanlike conduct penalties called on touchdowns during the last 5 seasons. Last year, 29. The year before that, 20. The year before that, 16. The year before that, 8. And the year before that, 3. NFL fines on touchdown celebrations for the past 3 seasons. 2016, $310,000. 2015, $66,000. 2014, $94,000. And Jimmy Graham was fined $30,000 out of that for dunking the ball.
Is that when he broke?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe so. So they relaxed their rules. This is what you can do. Group celebrations, going to the ground, and using the ball as a prop. What you still can't do, violent or offensive imagery. Yes, there's no shooting the guns up. There's no, there's no slicing the throat. There's no pulling down your pants like Randy Moss did back in the day. There's probably still no twerking still.
No, I'm saying no.
Yeah, because there's sexual suggestive acts.
There.
So it's not like it totally changed, but it changed for the better, I believe.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree with that.
So now speaking about celebrations and stuff like that, how about Odell Beckham Jr. getting the highest paid shoe deal in the NFL? Now my question to you is this a good thing or a bad thing for the New York Giants? Should they worry about this?
Well,
mind you, he has to do more for Nike, not just for football as well.
I would say yes, simply due to the fact that there's been
you have to worry about
a lot of miscellaneous. You do have to worry because there's been a lot of nothing crazy, but just things happening over his career so far. Whether it's the boat, whether it's not showing up to OTAs this year. He was the only Giant player to not show up to OTAs this year.
He is showing tomorrow. He is showing
hanging out with Johnny Manziel.
That is
just saying. Okay, just saying.
A lot of questionable things that Odell.
He's
Beckham
making more money this year from Nike than the Giants. That may not sit well with him. We'll see how that plays out. So definitely some reasons.
Now, would also an argument or a conversation that I was hearing on one of the shows, I think it was Speak for Yourself. They were talking about how the NFL, you're not really known for your equipment deals like the NBA is. Like you're known for your shoe deal. Like that's what you're known for.
Well, because you can't really wear cleats outside.
Yeah, and like the football stuff, like I think Colin Cowherd was saying, he's like, you don't know what deal that Tom Brady has. Like you don't know. Nobody knows. But when you look at it, you know these players through their other things, like, Peyton Manning with Papa John's,
that got so annoying.
Or even Peyton Manning with Nationwide Insurance, stuff like that. Like, through that.
Annoying.
Through that. But now, is the NFL going to take the turn to the equipment, I guess, sales and stuff like that? Like, is that what we're going to see next now that Odell Beckham took a shoe deal? Like, is that the next thing that we're going to see? But I do believe that this is something to worry about if I was the Giants, because it's going to be taking up a lot of his time, which is something that's, not something that you want to see from Odell Beckham. Because, like I said, it's not just the cleats that he has to, show off and wear and stuff like that. Now he's going to have to take a larger role in Nike and do other commercials and stuff like that, and ads and that don't include football.
For a guy that has shown in the past lack of caring about winning.
Yeah.
Probably not what you want to see.
Exactly.
For the, what you were just saying, more time for Nike and less time for the Giants.
And another rule that was changed, we spoke about the IR rule last week because that was the first one that came out. But I spoke about on the podcast this new rule
on
about
iTunes.
Yes, go check it out. The 75-man cut axed, which is. What happened was in the preseason, after each game, there would have to be a certain amount of players cut. They're taking that away now. So now you're basically, all those players that maybe only got one chance now get to have all 4 preseason games to give that chance, to have more of a chance, I should say.
I love it.
I love it too. I love it too because you get to find those diamond in the roughs.
Exactly. Not that we're going to be watching those preseason games, but for those guys that could be the only action they see that year.
It's all about tape. The more games that you play, the more tape that you have, the more stuff that people get to watch of you.
And it may not even be of your team.
Exactly.
Someone is just, let's watch.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's really
another
impressive
team,
in
anything.
This.
So now it's going to have your 90-man roster. That 90-man roster is going to be through the 4 preseason games, and then after that, then it gets cut down to 53. So I'm happy to see that. I think it's good rules. I think everything that the NFL has changed so far has been good except for this overtime rule. Now, are you okay with the overtime being cut down from 15 to 10?
Wasn't there was nothing wrong with where it was.
What I was reading was because they're saying that these players were
player safeties, but we have Thursday night games.
Exactly. So is the 5 minutes really going to be make a difference? Like, is that what's really going to happen? So, I just...
Do you want more ties? Like, what is that?
That's
is that
what
a
I'm
thing
saying.
you
like,
want?
And the thing, I understand what they were saying. That they were saying that the average amount of time for an overtime game goes like 7 minutes and 46 seconds or something like that. So then why change it? Why change it? Why make that closer to a tie than anything else? Why change it? There's no reason to change it. So... I don't understand. It's like the whole extra innings thing that we've been talking about with baseball. It's just ridiculous.
Get it out of my face.
We have the odds for the teams to win their division. We also have the Super Bowl odds so far. I'm just going to give the leaders in the divisions. The Cowboys are 5-4 to win the NFC East. The Packers are 4-11 to win the North. The Falcons are 8-5 to win the South. The Seahawks are 1-4 to win the West. Then we have the AFC North. The Steelers are 2-3 to win the North. Ravens 1-4. AFC South 9-4, Colts, and AFC West 9-5, Raiders. Do you have any problems with those?
Yes, the Colts.
Do you? Really?
I don't think they're winning the division.
You know what?
I still think the Texans are better than them. I still think the Titans are better than them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
that's the only one that surprised me a little bit.
And then when we go to the Super Bowl odds, I'll give.
We'll do like top five.
Top five, yeah, that's what I was gonna do. So opening odds for the New England Patriots was 6-1. Their current odds are 3-1. The Cowboys' opening odds were 10-1. Their current odds are 8-1. The Packers 12-1 opening odds. Their current odds are 10-1. The Steelers are 10-1, with their current odds being 12-1, and the Raiders are 20-1 in opening odds, and then down to 12-1 in current odds. Your Ravens are 25-1 in opening odds. They are 30-1 now, and holding up the bottom, the Cleveland Browns 300-1.
It's a lot of money, people.
Yeah. The 49ers 300-1. The Jets 200-1. Yeah.
Well, on that note, I will say the 49ers had a very good offseason.
Yes.
Very good start to the John Lynch era. But they're going to be a terrible team this year.
Yeah. So Sheldon Richardson had some choice words for A1 Brandon Marshall, and this is what he had to say.
The team that drafted me, I enjoy being here. So other than that, locker room's a whole lot easier to get along with now. So yeah.
Why is that?
Do you see why? Y'all so thirsty.
You put the ball on the tee, Sheldon. You put the ball on the tee.
Oh man, y'all so thirsty. I just said you got 15 reasons why I think why it's better.
So he says 15 reasons why. Obviously, Brandon Marshall wore 15. And, this is what I've heard, like, that he wasn't really, I guess, liked in that, I guess, locker room. So
God forbid you want to win.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I'm not trying to defend Marshall here, but he's one of the few guys to prove game in and game out through injuries. He wants to win. He'll play to win. Coming from a guy in Sheldon Richardson who said he needs to perform this year simply because it's a contract year.
Yeah.
Says all you need to know about this guy.
Before we get to the new league, the Ottawa Senators tied the series up. They're going to Game 7 now. Did you have a problem with Ottawa not being sold out last night?
Yeah, that's a problem.
It is a problem.
That's a problem.
Especially in a Canada arena. To have, your stadium not even...
That's a problem.
That is a big problem. So this is the new league. It's called Big 3. And this is the trailer. Obviously, you're just going to have to listen to it. When we come out with the video, you'll be able to see the trailer. But this is the Big 3, the new league founded by Ice Cube.
This right here, to me, is what the world been waiting for.
But you was going in a different era.
Wait till I get in the league where they can't play zone on me. I'm going to kill everybody. You can't nobody guard me one-on-one.
Now, you like them because you're crazy. Yeah, definitely. If you're here to play basketball, we definitely here to do that.
It sucks to see your favorite players retire when you know they still got game. You ready to see some basketball?
We miss y'all. Y'all come into our living rooms as high school players and college players and pro players, and we learn about y'all ups and downs. We see y'all win, we see y'all lose, we see y'all having y'all great moments, having y'all not so great moments, and then nothing, gone. It hurts me to see guys that I love to see play retire from the NBA.
Us as competitors, we're not in it just for circus. That once we get out on the floor, we're going to compete.
Because I'm not losing to him. No way.
Guys like us, we're natural competitors on that. We won't even worry about that. We just go out there because we all just natural competitors. I want like it.
A lot of energy and light and excitement. It's going to feel like a big game.
It ain't going to just be this one time. Like, we going to rock out.
People been like, yo, I can't wait to see it. This is a dream come true. This is God said. Let's go to work. Let's go to work.
All right, so the standard 2 and 3 point shots apply. It's a 3-on-3 league. Exclusive 4 points. 4-point shots when a player is touching any part of the 4-point circle. Additional free throw shot taken if a player is fouled while making a shot. A shooting foul will receive the number of shots corresponding to the missed attempt, 2, 3, or 4. All personal fouls will be counted as team fouls, no foul outs. On and after the 15th foul, opponents get 2 shots and ball possession. A technical foul results in 2 foul shots and the ball. Every technical foul after the first results in 4 foul shots and a ball possession. First team to 60 points wins. Halftime happens after a team scores 30 points. Team must win by 4. Substitutions made on dead ball or calling time. After a made shot, referee must touch the ball after giving the defense 3 seconds to set. Losers, opposing team, must take ball beyond the top of out of bounds line. Player has 5 seconds to return the ball inbounds. Defensive rebounds that touch the rim must be cleared. The ball is cleared. Basically, it's a half-court game. That's what it is.
Yeah.
If everybody knows that, the way to play, street ball, half-court, this is basically the rules. So we'll get into the teams real quick before we get out of here. Three's company, you have the captain, Allen Iverson, co-captain, DeMar Johnson, players, Andre Owens, Mike Sweetney, Ruben Patterson, and player coach is Allen Iverson. Three-headed monster, we have captain Rashard Lewis, co-captain Jason Williams, players are Kwame Brown, Eddie Basden, and Mohammed Abdul Rahif. Player coach is Gary Payton. Then we have the one team, Mike Bibby is the captain. Ricky Davis is co-captain. Mo Evans, Marcus Banks, and Yvonne Johnson are the players. The player coach is George Gervin. Ball Hogs, captain Brian Scalabrini. Co-captain Josh Childress. Players Derek Byers, Razul Butler, Dominic McGuire, player coach Rick Barry. Tri-State, Jermaine O'Neal is the coach. Co-captain Bonzi Wells, players Xavier Silas, Lee Nallen, and Mike James. The player coach is Julius Dr. J. Irvin. Captain for Power is Corey Maggette. Co-captain Katina Mobley. Players Jerome Williams, Deshaun Stevenson, Moochie Norris. Player coach is Clyde Drexler. The Killer Threes, captain Chauncey Billups, co-captain Steven Jackson, players Reggie Evans, Larry Hughes, and Brian Cook. The player coach is Charles Oakley. The Trilogy, captain Kenyon Martin, co-captain Al Harrington, players Rashad McCants, James White, Dion Glover, player coach Rick Mahorn. Some big names there.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's also a good start name-wise, for sure.
It starts June 25th, and they basically play.
Now the captains play.
I don't know. I don't know. I have to look into more of it, but they have a player coach and they have a coach, so I don't know. But the first week of it is in Barclays, June 25th, and they play in different arenas for I think 8 weeks, and then the finals happen. So it's cool. Check it out.
Yeah, looks definitely exciting with all these big names. I mean, you got Scalabrini, fan favorite.
Yeah,
always a fan favorite.
Allen Iverson, Charles Oakley,
Chauncey Billups, Clyde Drexler.
Yeah,
Julius Irving. I mean, this is impressive.
Yeah, definitely. Ice Cube started it. Roger Mason Jr. is the commissioner, I believe. He's the president and commissioner. Ice Cube's the founder. Jeff Kawatanet is a founder, and Amy Trask is the CEO. So, before we even get out of here, we're going to talk about bat flips. I love them. You're not a fan of them.
In the right moment, I'm a fan of them.
Okay.
In the right moment.
So, obviously, a lot of talk was for the Jose Bautista bat flip, not from the time that they played Texas in the playoffs. But the other day, they were down by 5, I believe. He had a home run. He bat flipped basically the same way. And they took offense to that, I guess. And then later in the series, he got plunked. And this is where bad media comes into. Deadspin, a website that comes out with their articles and stuff like that, came out with an article that said that the catcher pointed at Jose Bautista the pitch right before he got plunked. Now, if you know anything about baseball, you know he did not point at Bautista. He pointed for an inside fastball. That was what the call was. Now, do I think that he didn't mean to hit Bautista? No. That was the point of it. His point was to hit Bautista. But the call, the signal that the catcher gave, was an inside fastball.
And also, which a lot of people seem to skip on this series, Toronto pitchers hit 7 Brave hitters in 3 games.
Yeah.
Then the baffle was basically just making Bautista the target. Someone was getting hit.
It was the icing on the cake.
Somebody was getting hit. That's the point.
Yeah.
Bautista just made it himself by doing the bat flip.
It made it easier to pick.
Exactly.
But I mean, we had so much.
You could tell that he was.
He was sorry about it. Like,
as soon as he went to
I
home
think it was
plate,
just such a
caught in the moment, angry at how the season started. I don't know.
I think it was just more of
maybe trying to
not
start
realizing
Could be
because
that,
you
yeah.
could see like when he let it go, he kind of tried to grab it back, but he couldn't. And then obviously the first baseman said something, and then everything happened with the catcher. And you can see when he gets into it with the catcher, he's pointing at his chest saying it's my bad, and you see the catcher kind of give up, and then all of a sudden that's when everybody else came in, and that's why it turned out to be something so much bigger than it actually was. But we had so much to talk about today. We have so much more that we could have talked about. We were going to bring up the Stephen A. on Durant, the Durant clip. We just couldn't get to everything today.
We're bringing too much that we can't.
So you know what that means. You're just going to have to listen to the podcast because some of these topics will end up on
how
the
that
podcast.
Works.
Yeah. So. Subscribe on iTunes and you'll see it, and maybe we'll get it on SoundCloud. I don't know yet. We got to pay for that, but we'll see. But that will do it for today's show. I don't know if we're going to be back next Wednesday. It might be a different day, so keep an eye out for that. Follow us on Twitter at RUTS Sports, Instagram at RUTS Sports. Go check out our website, www.rutsports.weebly.com. Go download our sponsor, Yelphi, in the iTunes App Store. It's a great app.
Future giveaways through said
and
app.
That's the other thing we're deciding on now, what the giveaways will be. So check those out, and that will do it for Running Up the Score today. It's a great show.
It was another one.
But that will do it. I'm Jerry.
I'm Tom.
Beat Bracy.
You've been listening to Running Up the Score
on Zeno Radio.